4 months after the Infinix Note 10 Pro, Infinix has just launched another device, the Infinix Note 11 Pro, and it looks like Infinix is not bringing back the Xpen anytime soon. However, they packed this new smartphone with some interesting specs and features. The Infinix Note 11 Pro has a 6.95 inches 120Hz IPS LCD display, a MediaTek Helio G96 chip, 128GB of storage memory, and 8GB of RAM. A 64MP triple camera on the rear and a 16MP selfie camera with a dedicated telephoto lens, 5000mAh battery with 33W fast charging, and a revamped and retouched software. For $140K or $250, it sounds intriguing, right? Well, it also comes with some intriguing problems like the inability to install Netflix from the Play Store, which means you can't watch Squid Game here. And even if you finally sideload Netflix on here, you can only watch videos up to 480 pixels here. Nonetheless, the Infinix Note 11 Pro is still an interesting device. What's up guys, it's Victor here again, and this is my review of the Infinix Note 11 Pro. The Infinix Note 11 Pro has a 6.9 inches 120Hz IPS display, housing a 16MP front-facing camera in a centered punch hole. It is a large device, and as such, it is very hard to handle with one hand. But then there is a one-hand mode in the quick settings that makes life with this device a whole lot easier. It has a full HD display, actually a full HD plus display with a resolution of 1080 by 2460 pixels, which is approximately 287 ppi. The front houses one of two speakers and an LED flash buried at the edge of the display. The front of the Note 11 Pro is quite reserved, nothing too loud. The bezels are thick, especially the bottom one. It has a plastic frame and back and a glass front. The plastic is not glossy and doesn't reveal fingerprints. Now, I wish this phone has flat edges like the 0X, actually like the iPhone 12 and 13. I kind of prefer that design and look. On the top of the Infinix Note 11, you'll find no port, no sensor, no button. On the right side, you'll find the volume rockers and power button, which doubles as a fingerprint sensor. On the bottom edge are the 3.5mm headphone port, a microphone, a USB-C port, and the second speaker, which is actually the main speaker. The left has the SIM and memory card tray, capable of holding 2 nano SIMs and 1 memory card on the flip side. Now, flipping the device over, Infinix has managed to create a spectacle or an illusion of depth and complicated technology on the camera mount. You would think there's a giant optical stabilizing gyro lens or some sort of high-tech camera system fitted onto the back of this device, when it's just a 64MP camera surrounded by an empty round black hole. Nonetheless, we get two extra cameras, a 13MP telescope lens which can get up to 30 times zoom digitally, and a 2MP depth sensing lens. There is also a quad flashlight and a fake camera which balances the camera setup quite well. Color options for the Infinix Note 11 Pro include mithril grey, haze green, and mist blue, and this is the haze green. It looks beautiful, right? As mentioned earlier, the Infinix Note 11 Pro has a full HD plus 120Hz display. It is vibrant and punchy, and about media consumption, the Note 11 Pro does not disappoint in this section, with a massive 6.95 inches IPS LCD panel, almost as big as a tablet. Watching videos here is a joy to look out for. However, to the detriment of handling this device, the size and heft of this device might make it really hard for people with small hands like mine to enjoy this phone. Anyway, this won't be a deal breaker, especially for people that will be experiencing 120Hz refresh rate for the first time, just like me. Now, I wish that at this price, we should have an AMOLED panel on this device. There are no color modes or settings to adjust. It's also worthy to know that color accuracy is not this screen's concern. Like I mentioned earlier, it only supports wideband L3, which means that video streaming through services like Netflix will be limited to 480p. That is not even the problem. The problem is that you can't get Netflix from the Play Store to this device. You would have to download the APK from somewhere else. This is quite disappointing for a device with so much screen estate. I really hope that a software upgrade can fix this. While we are still on the display, I noticed some shadows around the notch area. It's subtle but with something. I guess I'm starting to nitpick now. The side-mounted fingerprint sensor on the Infinix Note 11 Pro works well and it's pretty fast. It unlocks the device 95% of the time almost immediately. I also like the placement as it is not hard to reach. In terms of radio and wireless connectivity, you get a versatile setup thanks to the G96 chip. You get 4G LTE with bands 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 20 and 28. There's also Bluetooth 5.0 here and an FM radio. The Note 11 Pro has a hybrid stereo speaker setup with the second speaker flushed above the display. Audio quality is pretty impressive and loud too. Actually very impressive that I started comparing it to the iPhone 12 and it didn't disappoint. Well done Infinix. You can tune the sound to your taste because Infnix has included DTS sound on the Infinix Note 11 Pro. This is like opposite of what you get on the display in terms of settings and tweaks. The Infinix Note 11 Pro has only one microphone and that too is nice. Maybe not impressive, but it extracts clean and usable sound. Here is a sample.
Alright, this is the Infinix Note 11 Pro microphone test. And I'm holding the phone the same way I would when making a phone call. So let me know what you think about the microphone quality. But from the test I did earlier, I think it sounds decent. It's nothing mind-blowing or very impressive, but it does the basic job of extracting clean audio. I have my AC on and I have some people making noise outside and I still get this kind of audio quality. It's nice.
The Infinix Note 11 Pro has the MediaTek Helio G96 as its central processing unit. The G96 is a very new chip and not a popular one. The MediaTek Helio G96 features two powerful ARM Cortex A76 processor cores clocked up to a speedy 2.05 GHz in its octa-core CPU. An ARM Mali G57 provides great graphics performance. It is however a 12nm processor. This chipset coupled with 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB storage in real life is a performance beast. Actually, for some reason best known to Infnix, the video capture on the Infinix Note 11 Pro is limited to 2K resolution when the Helio G96 should be able to handle 4K at 30 frames per second. There is also support for what Infnix calls extended RAM, which adds an additional 3 GB of virtual RAM to the pool for a total of 11 GB of RAM. On Geekbench, I got a single core score of 513 and a multi-core score of 1783, which is above the Infinix 08 and Infinix Note 10 Pro from earlier this year. Multitasking on the Infinix Note 11 Pro is sweet. Apps open fast and stay in the background. I played Call of Duty and did not get a frame drop. The Infinix Note 11 Pro has a massive 5000 mAh battery, which is becoming a norm these days, especially for Infinix devices. This one comes bundled with a 33-watt fast charging capability. Charging this 6.9 inches 5000 mAh device takes about an hour and 30 minutes to get to 100%. The MediaTek Helio G96 is a relatively new chipset, so it's expected to see it optimized for modern and recent applications. There's quite a lot to cover with this new phone in terms of features and functionality because of the new SOS 10 this phone came bundled with. Sincerely, it gets overwhelmingly good sometimes. As expected, Infinix bundled this device with a lot of their first-party and third-party apps, some of which you cannot uninstall. SOS 10 is beautiful, refined and elegant with big boxes and bars I love so much. Very reminiscent of the iOS control panel or the new Android 12 quick settings toggle. They have separated the notification shade from the control center. Wiping from the left side reveals your notifications, while from the right reveals the controls, just like MIUI. Except that on the Infinix SOS, you don't have the option to use the classic style. There's also a dedicated special function menu that holds special features like MOL translation for translating speech and text, which I find very powerful and it works system-wide even when the phone is offline. There's also Lightning multi-window for floating windows, special gestures, peek-proof, dual social accounts to mention a few. I'll go through the features in detail in another video, so a sub to the channel would really be useful. You also get control over battery usage through the Power Marathon app. Infinix legitimately built a voice assistant called Folas and her name is Ella and she's cute. But I wonder why they did this. The world already has Google Assistant, Siri, Alexa and the less privileged Bixby. But about SOS 10, there's truly a lot to show here and I've barely scratched the surface. In summary, I would say it's fluent, classy, feature-rich and robust from a performance standpoint, but also quite overwhelming. The 64 megapixel triple camera on the Infinix Note 11 Pro is surely one of the biggest highlights of this device. By default, the camera doesn't take 64 megapixel images. You would have to turn that on. The picture quality is nice but not inspiring. And these are samples of the pictures taken on the Infinix Note 11 Pro.
So they said it can get to 30 times, but it's all digital, so it's very bad.
Videos get up to 2K even though the chip here is capable of 4K. I don't know why Infinix limited this to 2K. You get electronic stabilization, beauty mode and bokeh video on both the rear and front cameras, and these are samples.
So guys, this is the selfie video camera of the Infinix Note 11 Pro. I am currently shooting 2K and it's at 30 frames per second, the frame rate. Let me know what you think about the camera quality as well as how it handles dynamic range, So this is the video bokeh, and as you can see, the background is blurred out. Surprisingly, it does a very pretty good job, at separating me from the background, and I'm pretty impressed. It's usable. It mimics depth of field on a DSLR. So I have the beauty mode turned on. I'm a fine boy. When you have the beauty mode turned on, you can't also have the bokeh mode, the video bokeh on. So either you have the beauty mode on or you have the video bokeh. You can't have everything. And also know that you can have image stabilization on the selfie camera when doing videos. Although it crops in a little bit, but it's not a deal breaker. So this is the video camera with no image stabilization. And what do you think, guys? Right now I have stabilization. Again, it crops in into the frame, and just to compensate for the shakiness. This is because it uses what's called electronic image stabilization and not optical. It's not an optical image stabilization system. It's pretty steady, I must confess. It's super steady. Super steady. See the shot like a drone shot.
As far as pricing goes, the Infinix Note 11 Pro falls well within the mid-budget category. For only $250 there is no doubt that you'll be getting incredible value for your buck. It's an intriguing device with some vague edges like the inability to download Netflix, no AMOLED or Gorilla Glass protection, no Xpen, and no 4K video capture. The truth, the Infinix Note 11 Pro is a good buy if you are ready to forgive its shortcomings. Please subscribe if you're not. Like this video if it was helpful. I know it was helpful, so like it if it was helpful. Thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you when I see you in the next one. Bye.